All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to our Detroit on a Sunday. What's going on with you people? Hope you enjoying your weekend. I gotta do a reaction video to Boyce Watkins. You know, and Boyce Watkins is about to demonstrate in this video a problem and what's wrong with the black community. And one of the reasons the black community doesn't have unity. Boyce Watkins, he presents himself as a doctor and somebody who's for the development of the community, and you know he's a finance major and he likes to sell you his classes and tell you what to invest in and things like that. Now, the problem that I see and I have as it relates to Boyce Watkins is that when Boyce Watkins views get low and he needs content, Boyce Watkins has a tendency to search the internet for other black men to attack their content. You know, and it's interesting that he's attacking Anton Daniels, who also does a lot of content on how to invest your money. You know what I mean? And Anton has a strong following. He has a millionaire. I think he has the Millionaire Morning Club, and he has like several other shows in the Bag Chasers where he has a group of individuals that support him and they make money with him. Now, I don't agree with everything Anton says, but what I totally disagree is what Boyce Watkins is finna do in this video, because it's tacky, it's shabby, and it's beneath me, but it's probably not beneath him, if you know what I mean, because he says that Anton is a younger guy than him. And Anton is in his 40s and Boyce is in his 50s, but Boyce is younger than me. So if that's the basis on how we finna critique content, then I'm gonna be the oldest one here. I'm gonna be the oldest one on this topic. Me, then him, then the young man. One thing I learned as being an older guy, you should expect younger men to do things better than you, especially modern things. You know what I mean? I don't expect uh, a person younger than me, as a lot younger than me, to have the problems I may have using technology. They're gonna be swifter. I expect them to, but they expect me on the flip side to be wiser. And see, this is the problem I got with Boyce right now. He says he has all this intelligence, but this is not wise. What he's doing is very petty, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. This is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for commentary and educational purpose. I'm gonna show you how petty and what's wrong with what Boyce did. Check this out.
His cross-eyed brother or something. I have no idea. But anyway, he loves to join in the chorus of his.
Okay, let me start. I want you to hear how he comes in. Now he said he's an older guy. Listen how he comes in attacking Anton. He gonna say he look like Rick Ross, cross-eyed brother. He comes straight in with the insults. And this is what I don't like about Boyce. This is another thing. He's passive aggressive. And then he'll come back later apologizing if he can set up a parlay with Anton. These YouTube people are some real characters. But let me get back to it. Check it out.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and today I want to talk a little bit about an interesting guy on the internet and named Anton Daniels. I don't know him. He looks a little bit like Rick Ross.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. He come in line. He talking about he don't know who Anton is. I don't know him, and it looks like Rick Ross' uh, cousin or whatever, brother or whatever he just said. But he come in the door lying. He knows exactly who Anton is. So he comes in insulting him, but he's going to tell you in a few more sentences who Anton is. He's going to tell you everything about Anton, but he don't know him. But he's going to tell you everything about him. Watch.
His cross-eyed brother or something. I have no idea. But anyway, he loves to join in the chorus of these really disgruntled black men that give this crazy, horrible advice on the internet. And what I want to do is kind of put it into context. I'm a little bit older than him, so maybe a little bit wiser, maybe not. But I'm going to give you another perspective that I hope you'll consider. And so get comfortable, buckle up, seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Hey, he finna get started on Anton. Let me speed it up. Watch this joker. Now remember, he said he don't know him.
Source of pride. I'm the man. I'm the man. Look at me. Look at how many women I slept with. Bro, have you been to the clinic lately?
Hold on.
Do you understand how many STDs are being spread in the
Back to Jeff.
And the favorite football player hit it, and the basketball player hit it, and the homie from the hood hit it, and they ran a train on you before that, and then you had a kid by him, and you had a kid by him, and you had a kid by him, and then for some reason you think you're supposed to be sitting in the presence of kings. Since when did that happen? How is it that we started qualifying ourselves for people that we don't even qualify to sit in front of? And then they want you to be a step crash dummy. I just got a quick question, ladies. What qualifies you? Okay, so let me stop there because he gave us so much good stuff. I think that there's a lot to kind of respond.
Okay, let me stop here. Anton made a video about maybe a couple weeks ago. And Anton said he wasn't going, he said he wasn't going to be beefing and going back and forth with nobody on the internet. No other bloggers, no other YouTubers. I seen it. Boyce probably seen it. So he coming out taking cheap shots. Is he trying to bring, I don't know how Anton going to respond. He's already said he wasn't going to be beefing. But Boyce comes straight out taking shots and using this clip and talking about he don't know him. See, I'm not trying not to be biased, but I already been thinking that Boyce was like a charlatan, you know what I mean, a buffoon and a simp. But I'm gonna let him continue on his speech today.
And by the way, let me know. Can you guys hear that? Were you able to hear the video? And his name's Anton Daniels, and he's entertaining. He's very entertaining. Sometimes he sounds
Ninja, how's he entertaining? And sometimes he sound like something, and you said you don't know him. But this is a doctor. And he's entertaining and he's this. And you just said you didn't know him 5 seconds ago.
Sometimes he sounds a little clownish. But that's what the internet's all about. That's what YouTube's all about. That's how you get a lot of subscribers and stuff like that. Because we have a lot of clowns in our community. I'm not going to say he's a complete clown. I would say that he's young. I think he's a few years younger than me. And he's very obsessed with me. He's really interested in my personal life, which I always found that really fascinating. There's no black man I can think of anywhere that I've been.
This what he mad about. Because everybody on the internet knew that Boyce married that woman that didn't really want him. And she married him after he got some money, allegedly. And after she had already had kids in divorce. And he was being called a simp because he was giving relationship advice. Now, I understood the concept of what they were saying. They were saying, you wanted this woman for all these years, and she didn't want to have nothing to do with you. She went and got married and had kids by another man. He divorced her, and she had the kids, and then you get some money, and then she come back into your life, and you propose to her and marry her. And they said that she was looking like she liked the Willie D. So that's the gist of what was happening, allegedly.
That obsessed with where I talk about that person a lot, but apparently he's talked about me a lot. And typically I don't really address it much, but this time I wanted to address it because I do think that there is something that's happening here that the community needs to pay attention to. So let's start here. First of all, he says, he's talking about, I guess, some stank asshole, some nasty ass woman who slept with everybody that moves. And he's like, Umar hit it, the homie from the hood hit it, the basketball player hit it, Boyce didn't hit it. We ain't worried about Boyce. Boyce didn't hit it. And I'm like, you got to.
See, this is why I'm doing a reaction. This is an older man. This is an older man on here doing this. This is somebody who wants you to come to them for advice, for investments, and your future endeavors. But this is his real character. You know what I mean? What he's doing right now is a hit piece on another brother because he don't like his content. This is a problem. This is why we can't stick together. This is why black people don't have no unity. But he's older. That's what makes it bad. That's what makes it worse.
Right, Boyce didn't hit it. Boyce don't hang out with low quality women. That's not of interest to me. And Boyce learned from my father a long time ago that black men, if you're dumb enough to think that you're supposed to sleep with every pretty girl that walks by you a sucker, man. You're stupid. That's the dumbest thing you can ever do. A lot of these women might have diseases. STDs are a big thing. We don't talk about it enough in the community. Think about how many men you know who slept with hundreds, maybe thousands of women, and they consider that a source of pride. I'm the man. I'm the man. Look at me. Look at how many women I slept with. Bro, have you been to the clinic lately? And do you understand how many STDs are being spread in the community by men like you? Seriously, this is grown man talk. This is not something that immature, childish people are going to get. The clowns are not going to get this. It's only going to make the clowns angry. I'm sure. I can't wait to see their video responses. I'm sure they're going to say lots of.
He already know. He already know people gonna respond to him because what he's doing is so distasteful for likes and views, and it's time out for us just attacking each other out the blue. You know what I mean? About each other's content and taking things personal because at this time, the last thing we need in our community is divisiveness. And I'm telling you, what makes this bad is he's an older man and he can't see that he's like, it's like he's operating out of some type of jealousy, you know what I mean, or envy because what he claims he has a doctorate in finance, Anton is over there talking about he's a C student, but making it happen. So to me, it seems like there's a bit of jealousy. You know what I mean? Because if I'm saying I'm a C student, but I'm better at finance than you, and you a finance major, then that's gonna make you show some type of contempt, and that's just what he's doing. And I don't think that us as black men, I don't think we should get on here and be ripping at each other like this when you trying to be a leader. Now, if you ain't trying to be no leader and asking people for donate, like you know how Umar is, I'm go to Pan Africa and whatever, so donate to me. I'm trying to be a leader, or he trying to be a leader. I think it's distasteful. See, me, I do commentary and news. I'm not trying to lead nobody. I'm just trying to share what I see on the internet and share what I know. So, but this what makes it distasteful because he wants you to trust his judgment in matters of finance and security.
Lots of mean things or whatever. That's fine. I can handle it. But the point of the matter is that you don't understand that from slavery, you were raised with that slave buck mentality. Anybody, give me a yes if you heard about the slave breeding plantations. Anybody know about the history of slaves being bred, where they would have one guy who would sit and have sex with, 100.
What is this reverse racism? Is this race baiting within our own race? Is this what is this? Or is this him taking a page out of Tariq Nasheed's uh African Museum? What bag is he coming out now? I mean, do we think about his content before we get on, or he just get on and just freestyle like I do?
Women or 50 women in the same day or whatever, because they were trying to get him to reproduce as much as possible. Well, a lot of black men carry that mindset, and it ruins your life. A man that does not have sexual discipline is never going to be a successful man. If you need to stick your, you know what, into every girl's vagina within a 100-mile radius, and you think that somehow that makes you more of a man, I dare to challenge that, because most men who live like that don't end up with happy or successful lives. Most of those men end up broke from all the child support, or they end up diseased. And ladies, if you think that that's a measure of masculinity, then you should be very thoughtful as well, because these men will infect you with an STD and kill you. So that's the first thing that I want to.
Okay, I'm trying to react to him critiquing Anton, but I keep okay. We talking about Anton. That's how we started, right? Because he done lost me now. You know, he started off talking about Anton. He got Anton picture in his thumbnail, so I see the YouTube thing come down there. I see Anton on it. I think that's Anton actual video, but his Boyce Watkins got his whole face on the thumbnail. So this got to be what we talking about.
Kind of address. So when he says Boyce didn't hit it, you're damn right. Boyce didn't hit it. Boyce has had the women that he wanted. I have never struggled to, when I was younger, it was a little harder because I didn't really know how to talk to girls. I ain't gonna lie. But when I became rich and had a PhD and was known around the world, there was no shortage.
Okay, I'm gonna stop and interject this. And I know y'all can look and tell I'm an older dude, right? Look, I'm older than him. Look at him. Look at him. I'm older than him. Look. Look at him. Talking about he was having problems.
Boyce could have dated. I literally married the woman of my dreams. I don't know if Antoine married the woman of his dreams. I don't know if that he married a lady he met 20 years ago or something, but whatever, or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's not happy with his life, but.
Okay, I'm sorry, boys. I'm not trying to be biased, but the woman of my dreams would not have been married to nobody else and have his kids. That wouldn't be my woman of my dreams. Now, that might be the woman I fall in love with or whatever, but I don't think that any young man sits up in dreams and says, I can't wait to find me an older woman that's divorced with 2 kids. I can't wait for that. I don't think nobody does that, boys, just to be honest.
But that assumption about his life is not the one you can make in mind. Boyce is okay. But then the second piece that he mentions is he talks about the woman that's kind of slept around and who the hell are you to even think that you could sit with kings because you slept with all these men have had sex with you. The problem I have with that, and tell me if you notice this, is that unfortunately there's a lot of men who don't understand one.
Y'all just see that Anton jumped in the chat. Oh shit. Anton jumped in the
basic
chat.
idea. How many of you have heard this? And give me a yes or no. How many of you have heard some of the men that talk like that say, well, we just hold women accountable.
This is interesting Sunday, y'all. This for entertainment.
Women need to be held accountable. Has anybody heard that? Like we just women just don't like, they just mad because they don't want to be held accountable. And I get it. There's a lot of women that don't want to be held accountable. But one thing about accountability is that accountability starts at home. Accountability starts at home, brother. So if you can't hold yourself accountable, how the fuck are you going to hold women accountable? It's just.
Hey, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to screenshot voice right here with Anton actually live saying, let's do it in the chat. That's going to be my thumbnail. We all going to be in the algorithm together. We all brothers.
You will, if you watch their videos carefully, you will hear them talk extensively about how many kids a woman has, how many women a woman has slept with, or how many men a woman has slept with, what a woman is doing with her life, and the status of her situation. But not one single time do you hear them challenging men in the same way. Never once do you even make a basic conclusion. You don't understand the basic idea that you do understand that whenever there's a single mother, there's a man that made that baby. How often do you hear these men who attack the women say anything about these motherfuckers that are making kids and abandoning their children? The same guy who created 5 single mothers will literally be in the chat saying, that's why I don't date no single mothers. I don't date no single. So you run around infecting women, infecting them with unwanted pregnancies, infecting them with STDs, and then you're talking shit about the very same women that you infected. Brother, something's wrong with you. You don't understand the accountability equation that makes sense. So again, some people, right? I think that people who've made good choices in their lives and put themselves in a good situation, they haven't devalued themselves by just spreading themselves, their bodies all over the place. They can walk around with all kinds of diseases and financial problems, everything else that comes with that. People like that, you should find somebody that matches that, right? You have the right to say, well, because I didn't have any kids and my credit is good and my income is high and I've taken care of my body, I want somebody who does the same thing. I get that. But a lot of these guys are losers. A lot of these dudes, not all of them, I don't know much about Anton and his situation. I'm sure he's made some money on YouTube and all that. But I don't know. I think, from what I understand, I think his mother was a single mother for a while. I think his father might have died. My heart, I give my condolences.
This Negro said he didn't know nothing about that man when he opened up this thing. Now he done went and told you, he done went and digging up the man's family, his father, his mother. He deep dived on him. See, this is my problem. And this is why I'm reacting to this video. This is very disingenuous. It's very disingenuous and it's divisive. And each and in his usual way, he's trying to hit below the belt because why is you mentioning his mother and his father? You know, his channel low, he want attention because I'm quite sure by him mentioning Anton's parents, he gonna get at him. And I see Anton already in the chat saying let's do it. So clearly, Boyce needed views. You know, wasn't nobody checking for him on the finance because ain't nobody made no money with him. You know, so he needed views, needed to get back some attention. So, you know, this is what he done. Let's continue. That was Chief Shot talking about his mom.
But if your mama was out here as a single mother and dealing with guys like you telling other men that single mothers are not worth their time, I don't know how you would feel about that. I don't know. Again, I don't know the situation with his mother. I could have sworn he mentioned something about his father passing. His mother was a single mother, and I think that would be very unfortunate for somebody to have judged his mother the way he's judging other people's mothers, right? And the thing that I think as Black people we have to understand is that YouTube entertainment it's entertainment, and it's sometimes it's hurtful entertainment. And because you have such a traumatized community, you have people that build their whole platforms by being as outrageous, as clownish, and as hurtful as they can possibly be. Why can't you build a platform by empowering Black men? Why can't you build a platform by empowering Black families? Why can't you build platforms by saying positive things that's going to elevate people? Why must the platform be built by being one of the few groups of people on the planet? The Black man, we're identified with this. The African American male is one of the few people on the planet that is known for bashing the shit out of their women, like literally just going ham in terms of disrespecting Black women at every turn. Saying that because you have a single mother, or because you are a single mother, something's wrong with you. And I think Anton's in the chat. You know what, man? I'm gonna say that
he really got a problem with people having a problem or saying something about him marrying the single mama that he married. That's all this is. This is guilt. This is some type of complex.
Bro, you can actually. That's great. I'm glad he's here. I'm glad you're here. You should we should get online together. I will. I don't know how to get in touch. Put your email address in or something, or I don't know how we can connect.
I told you he was looking for views. I told you. Now he want to cam up with him. Anton, you better not cam up with that line. You cam up with that line. There's something wrong with you if you cam up with him.
But I would be happy to debate you about this because I don't understand your platform. I really don't. I don't understand where the win is. I don't see. Here's the thing that I will tell you, and I'm glad he's here because I went on his page and I responded to him because I believe men should talk. I don't think men should be afraid to talk to each other. He says, "Let's do it."
Negro, you said you didn't know him. What is really going on here? YouTube, this is a live reaction.
Now, you know what? Tell me where to send the link, and I'll bring you in, man. I think that will be a lot. I think that will be a great conversation because here's the thing. In my view, a sign of masculinity is when you can build yourself up without tearing other people down. I think that as Black men, we can make ourselves strong without degrading and debasing and demeaning our women. Attacking our women does not make us look good. Maybe you can encourage women. Maybe you can help them get better. Maybe you can help them
I look forward in the video because this from earlier. I think Anton is actually finna cam up with him.
Understand, so some truths about the choices they make. I see the same women you do. I love black women, but I know black women ain't perfect. But I also know that my mother was a single mother, and I know that my mother was a single mother because my daddy was a drug addict. It was the man's fault that my mother was raising me by herself when I was 2 or 3. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't because she was a whore and a worthless piece of shit. My mother was raising me by herself because she was the fucking person that took responsibility. She was the one that took responsibility while my daddy, my biological father, was off getting high. So a lot of these run off and get high Negroes are the very same ones who are hiding under this cloak of accountability. I call it the cloak of accountability, the disguise. They really need to come out the closet. They need to come out the closet because they're hiding under this cloak of accountability. Well, we hold women accountable. And these are guys that are just like my biological father, who was so busy getting high that he didn't take care of his son. He created a single mother and ran off, and she cleaned up his mess. And then a real man came along and took his place. See, y'all don't understand the whole story. My father that raised me, who I give credit for being my father, I'm looking for Anton's comment. I want to bring you in, brother. So I don't know how we can get in touch, but literally, in fact, I'll give you an email. Email me at boyce@boycewatkins.com. You send me an email, I'll send you the link back. I will invite you right in because I think we should have a conversation. My father that raised me went to my biological father, who was coming in and out of my life when I was a baby, and he pulled up on him in a car. He had a shotgun in the front seat of the car. And he said, that woman and that child is my responsibility now. You don't need to come around no more. Because the problem was he was coming in and out, ducking in and out, breaking my mother's heart, not holding up his responsibility or whatever. And he came in and did one of the most masculine things I think a person could do, where he said, this is my son. I'm going to make sure that he's good. And what I'm saying is that why can't we also applaud those men that are not looking for somebody to blame, but are actually looking for chances to make the community better? Okay. Now Anton said he sent the email, so I'm gonna go look for your email, man. I'd be happy.
Okay. Before now, I haven't seen this when Anton come on, so this is a live reaction. But Boyce is really like he really mad at Anton because Anton said don't marry no don't be a baby daddy. I mean a step baby daddy. He really mad about that.
To talk to you. I look forward to talking it out as opposed to this nonsense, man. Talking back and forth on YouTube, that's chatty patty bullshit. I don't like to do that. I didn't do that with Kwame Brown. I'm not gonna do that with you. So but I'm glad, but I respect you for the fact.
I told you whenever this Negro views get low, he pick a fight with some other black man on YouTube so he can get some attention. You know what I mean? And he can pander to women and he can sell you a class. This is what this is about. You keep, you know what I'm saying? Anton took the bait. I hope you roast him if you're gonna get on here.
That you are man enough to come in here. So I think that's good. We can talk it out directly. Me and Corey Holcomb talked.
This nigga talking about man enough. This nigga is a whole simp, a whole lame. Like he a whole lame. You know what I mean? He talking about man enough to cam up with him. I think it's beneath the brother, but hey, we finna see.
Out on Willie D's channel because that's what men do. This whole stuff about like I'm gonna make a YouTube video about you is BS.
That's what you
and
just did.
Every single person, and I want to say this too as I send the link to Anton. Every single person that has ever disagreed with me on YouTube, I have offered to talk to that person directly. If I go to an event like Umar Johnson hasn't liked me for a long time. It goes way back. Don't worry about why. But every time Umar's at an event and I'm at the same event, I say, hey, bring him in here. I'll talk to him. And Umar's the guy who's afraid to talk to me or doesn't have an, or is I don't know what's going on with that. Roland Martin, same thing. Roland Martin and I haven't gotten along for about 10 years. Roland,
Did you hear what I said? What I told you? What I've been telling you? Everybody he get into it with is another black man. Everybody. He just named them all. Roland Martin, Corey Holcomb, whoever else. Here they go. Let's see.
Is is the guy where I'm like, well, bring him in so we can talk it out. I want to know why he's so upset with me. Well, Roland doesn't want to. He's not interested or whatever, and it's okay. It's their right to do that. But I want y'all to know that there will never be a person I'll talk about on this channel that I would not talk to directly. And so I'm gonna bring Anton in. Anton. I keep saying Antoine. I'm gonna bring him in. I'm gonna let him speak his piece, and we can talk it out. This is something new. This is something rare. We don't really do that much on this channel. All right, so let's see here. I actually really like you, Boyce. You give good financial advice, but you're wrong about dating in Black relationships. Okay, it's your right to think that. I agree. But I'm asking you, what's the solution? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for people that can keep identifying the problem. I'm a mathematician. We solve problems. We don't just complain about them. So it looks like Anton's in here. So Anton, I'm gonna bring you in. So here we go. So everybody, welcome Anton, and let's treat him with respect. Let's hear what the brother has to say. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So welcome to the channel. It's good to finally meet you in person. So I assume that you have some things to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and just be quiet and give you the floor.
Well, first and foremost, let me say I appreciate you for letting me come on a platform and even being able to have this conversation, because I think it's important, because we just fundamentally disagree on a lot of different things. First, let me say that I remember all of the times where you were throwing shots, Boyce. You threw a lot of shots in a lot of the different red pill content spaces. You throw comments inside of Instagram posts that's specifically referencing me on videos that they were post to me. You throw ad hominem attacks like, oh man, he must be cross-eyed or stuff like that. And that's cool. I don't have any problems with that, because it's cool. We all content creators and people are going to get shots. But then you can't complain on the other side when people reference you, because you always playing victim, or you always trying to act like you don't understand why people have a problem with you. It's because you do things like that, but then you want to sit here and posture and say, well, we should all talk like men.
Forget that. He need to go on and stop playing nice and go on and say that Boyce Watkins is a whole broad. He be acting like a broad. He got broad ways. Now you see how he grinning and smiling and all of that? Come on, man. Let's watch.
You started it. You absolutely started it. And so when other people start to get shine, or when other people's message start to resonate with other men, then you throw shots instead of having a conversation with them. So I appreciate you for even allowing for me to come on a platform and have this conversation in the first place, because I think that, you need to check that. You do a lot of that when you talk about empowerment, but you always throw shots at different content creators. But then when it's time to have a conversation in the past, you say, well, I'm not paying attention to it. I don't really reference it. It's not a big deal. I think that's not right. It's not right, boy. And then you wonder why people.
You actually made.
Go ahead.
You made a great point. No, you really exposed me with that, because you're right. Sometimes
Look at this. Look at Boyce. Look how he's smiling. Look at he grinning. He's so happy that he came to a show so he can get this content, which is gonna get a lot of content. It's gonna be in the algorithm, but just his character in his video is like it's so it's so lame. It's so lame. It's so broadish. You know what I'm saying? Look at it.
On the land of petty, like I think, for example, and it really is. It is a type of hypocrisy that I've always had to confront, because it's like I had, and you're not the first person I've had that kind of disagreement with. Kwame Brown really had a problem. I mean, this dude made 12 videos or something in a row about me. I didn't watch any of them. So that part about ignoring it, I really do ignore it because I want to focus. But
he always lying. That's what I mean about his ways. He always lying. He watched every video that Kwame Brown made about him. There is no content creator on YouTube that will not watch a video that somebody make about them. They want to see what is said about them. Somebody, think about that. Somebody make a whole video about you. You're not going to watch it to see what they said about you. You're just going to let everybody else know, but you just going to walk around with your head in the sand like an ostrich, not knowing what was said. So I'm just saying, he just keep lying. He just lie every time he talk.
But if you really look at it, I said his name first, instead of, and I wasn't trying to insult him, but I said his name, he got offended, and that was the reaction. So you could be right. I've been accused of being a provocateur before. And so first off, I want to acknowledge that and even apologize for that. But then second of all,
I don't think it warrants an apology because we are content creators. The only thing that I'm saying is, if you dish it out, you just got to be willing to take it back. I say a lot of things because other people are content creators, and so I'm going to critique their position on different subjects. And then I notice that they get offended. But people say stuff about, I'm not tripping about it. It's just a part of the game. I understand that that's what comes with the territory. So I don't have any problem with you doing it. I just don't want you to be a victim. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I don't see myself as a victim. I understand where you're coming from with that. I mean, I don't look at it as like, woe is me. I think it's more so, I'm thinking more so about the fact that it seems to me that we can't have this conversation about dating and relationships without it somehow sounding like we're getting clicks and views by bashing Black women. And I know that it's not all women, and I get it, but I don't see the same level of accountability being pushed toward the men as the women. And I believe it's because the men are the ones that are promoting the content and giving the clicks and views, and because you're affirming everything they believe, that nothing's their fault, that it's always the women this and women that. I see the same shit you see. I see the same community you see. I avoid the same women you might avoid, but I think that we have a community that needs healing and support, not one where we got millions of men that are just talking crazy about like single mothers. Like, what the fuck is wrong with single? Like, every single mother is not a hoe. Some of them literally got abandoned by some raggedy ass Negro who didn't handle his responsibility. We don't talk about that.
We do talk about it. We've been talking about it for the past 50 years. Guys by default have always been held accountable, largely for the things that they do because we don't have a safety net. But when we speak, of course there's going to be the anomaly. Of course there's going to be the woman who is widowed. Of course there's going to be a lot of different women that are in certain circumstances. But when we speak to the majority. We don't speak to the minority. And statistically speaking, the overwhelming majority of women are.
I'm going to interject right now, then I'm going to play it back. There is a law that holds men accountable who make babies. It's called child support. You can lose your license. You can go to jail. There is a whole law that holds men accountable. Don't gloss over that fact.
Having babies with a small minority of men. Let's say, for example, that you hold every guy accountable because contrary to popular belief, I'm much harder on guys than I am on. I am absolutely, positively dedicated to building men. As a matter of fact, I'm an advocate for dick discipline. I don't advocate for guys to be out here spreading their seed. I'm a reflection of the thing that I advocate for. And I'll get into my family history in a little bit, but in a general sense, I'm much harder on men than I am on women. But we live in a society where women have advocated for equal. They've advocated for equal when it comes to what benefits them, but not advocating for equal when it comes to holding themselves accountable for the decisions that they make, right? So now that they have a platform, and we've let women have a platform for a long time, now that men are starting to speak to their issues, we have to call a spade a spade. And the reality is that I can hold every single guy accountable, and every single guy can clean up their mess in their life. But it only takes a percentage of 1% of men to then get with all of the women that then choose this exact same type of guy, have a child by him, but then they'll start to hold all men accountable for the idea that they chose wrong because they know that they should not be opening their legs and carrying before they marry. And so when we start to have these conversations, we have to have them holistic. You can't just say, okay, well, what about the guy? We always talk about the guy. We've been talking about the guy since the beginning of time. They won't even advocate for updating family court laws that were created at a time where women didn't even have rights to choose for themselves or be able to have the opportunities to have the jobs that they had. But they advocate against updating family court laws, but then advocate for making sure that they can choose and do what they want to do, but then advocate against being able to be held accountable for the decisions that they make. And that's ultimately creating so much chaos as far as the type of women that are then determining what's happening in our elections, the type of men that they're raising that ultimately is affecting what's happening in the laws that's happening in our schools. All of the things that we have as far as men being able to say, okay, well, I'm going to be held accountable for the fact that I chose this woman or I had children with this woman, which the overwhelming majority of single men don't have children out of wedlock. That's a statistical fact. More men don't have children out of wedlock versus single baby mamas. But then we advocate for cleaning up the community. I don't believe personally that the goal is to make sure that we remix families and remix the core of what it takes in order to be successful when it comes to creating families and coming together. I think that we need to go back and hit the reset button and start to say, okay, wait a minute. We shouldn't be having children out of wedlock instead of enabling bad behavior by saying, okay, well, wait a minute. Some guy should come up and clean up the mess of another guy. Because what about him? What about the guy that took care of his business, was on top of things, did not have children out of wedlock, made sure that he leveled up, and took care of his business? If we care about him, why would we say, hey, you need to go and get with a woman that then messed up her life instead of pairing him with a woman?
Okay, we see what this is. I might put this whole video in my community channel. We see what this is. Voice needed the views because now he's just letting Anton talk, and it's turned into uh, a debate about the same old debate, single parenthood, you know. But it's interesting the method that they chose to get to talk about a systemic social problem that could easily be addressed with all the clickbait. And that's all I'm saying. So to me, it's kind of typical. But you tell me what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Keep your head on the swivel. Sound to you out of Detroit. Peace.